Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. John here from Wild Boar Cycling, and I'm joined today with our, our new team mascot. This is Dr. Ebb, the small wild boar. Hey, so last week I mentioned we are going to go on an extended trip, and some of the places that we're going to be going to are really remote. A lot of cycling is going to be involved. We're heading back to Steamboat, and then down through Monument Valley, and etc. And boy, I tell you, there are just no bike shops out there. So what I'm going to show you right here today is how maybe you might want to pack if you're going on an extended trip. Hey, I want to break this down for you so it's easy to follow. The first thing I want to cover is drivetrain, wheels, general equipment that you might need for your bike, and then some nice to have things. All right, sit back and enjoy. So, as I mentioned in the introduction, we're going to start with the drivetrain. It's going to be essential for your drivetrain to have some lubricants along the way. Of course, you've seen me wax, and I use this super secret chain coating to extend the life of the wax. But also in here, I dropped some Demontec. This is a really nice light lube. It works great on the Director's e-bike. Also like to have some Slick Honey in there in case I need a little bit of grease. And of course, I drop in here a little bit of Tri-Flow. This may not be for anything on the bikes that I have, but maybe on the Director's bike or something that has a little bit of a squeak, I could put a few drops of Tri-Flow in there on that. The next thing you want to have out here is a chain tool. Now you're out riding, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and gosh, you get back to camp and something's wrong with your chain, you need to take it apart. Well, this is going to be an essential piece of equipment to do that, because you can take your chain off with this, and you can also reinstall and put that link back in if that's the type of chain that you have on your bike. Next thing that's essential, if you got SRAM or Shimano, you're going to want some power locks or some quick connects that go in there. And of course, if you're going to do that, you need some MasterLink pliers. These are essential things to go along with your drivetrain. So we've talked about the drivetrain. Let's move on back to your wheels and your tires. So, of course, the first thing you're going to want to take out there with you is some type of floor pump. This is that Silca Pista one that lays flat in the back of the truck. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room. Really like how that works back there. And if you're a tubeless tire person, well, then you better have some extra sealant with you. If you're out there and you get a flat or a puncture in your tubeless tire setup, you're going to want to go ahead and top off that sealant if you're out there on the road. And of course, to do that, you're going to need a core remover. And this is a Stan's core remover. They're really handy to have. And of course, with a puncture in your tubeless setup, you're going to want some type of tubeless repair kit. Now, these are Stan's darts that you actually punch through the hole, and they seal it up when the sealant comes around in the side of the inside of the tire. The last thing too, if you're a tube person, well gosh, take along a little tube repair kit. You can see that I have some extra tubes that I will take along on the trip. But if you get to that place where, gosh, you're down your last tube, and you might want to have one of these tube repair patch kits. Last thing now, I'm not sure I'm going to need those because I am taking 2 sets of wheels for my bike, but it's always handy to have another one. So I'm just going to toss these into my repair bin, and maybe I can be a road angel or something out there when somebody has a really bad day. Then I might be able to help them out with a set of tires. All right, that takes care of the wheels. The next piece I want to talk about is some general equipment and stuff that you might need for your bike. If you have an e-bike, wow, you're going to want your e-bike battery charger. Before you sit there and roll your eyes and say, duh, you would be surprised at the number of folks that come in and have misplaced theirs or left it at home during a trip. One of the other ones that you really want to drop in are the small batteries. These are the 2032s. These are really common in your power meters. If you have electronic shifting, they're going to be essential to use. When you're thinking about charging batteries and lights and things like that, you've already seen me do a review on my Trek charge station. The link is up here somewhere like that. I just leave that in the camper, leave it plugged in, charges my lights, my Garmin, and all that stuff there too. You're probably going to want an Allen set. a set of Allen wrenches. They're very common. So I'm not sure I'm going to take my sophisticated torque wrench, but I'm going to take this little bar one here that came in the kit that I have. But I really like this smaller one here from Feedback Sports. It's already set to 5 Newton meters because that's the common one that you're going to want to use when you go to adjust your brakes. Really small, handy, zip it right up, I drop it right in my kit. It works super down there. You're probably going to want some screwdrivers. Here's one here that's reversible. I'm trying to keep things simple. One side has a Phillips, the other side has a standard flathead. I don't think I'll need to take my JIS screwdriver. I'm not going to be that sophisticated. But the other thing I want you to think about packing up too, when I'm thinking about general, is a bunch of microfiber cloths. Remember, you're going to want to use these to wipe off your chain, especially if you're waxing. And it's also really good for just, touching up your bike if you've been out on a really dusty ride. And if you use some of the products that I might have mentioned before in one of the other episodes, these are great to use with that too. Batteries, battery chargers, gosh, we got it. Oh, one more thing. It's really, really handy. Here's some black electrical tape. How many times have I been out on a very remote ride and boy, my handlebar tape comes off or something happens, I have a fall and really tears things up and I want to tidy it back up so I can at least, ride and it's not flapping around the wind. This electrical tape can do a lot of needs out there in the wild, okay? So the last thing I want to leave you with here today, these are some extra things that are nice to have. I wouldn't call them essentials. I do like having some kind of portable repair stand. Now I'm not going to take my heavier Park Tool one, but this is one made by Bike Hand. It was relatively inexpensive. And then at the same time, I want you to think about maybe you do want to have a small toolkit. Now, I have a couple pictures of some out here. They're all out there on the internet. And for about $100, you can get something really good. But let me show you what this one here looks like. This particular one here is from Bike Hand. All the essential pieces are in here that you might need. Some of the ones I just showed you. You take it apart and you pull this piece up here. And then you have your Allen wrenches. Here's a chain tool. And down the bottom, some other wrenches and some cutters and things that you might want to have with you. Handy piece of equipment. I don't think it's quite essential, but certainly if you're out for a long time and you're out in I call it out in the wild, and there's no bike shop nearby, wow, one of these tools in here may just keep your trip on the road. Well, that's it. Pretty much covered the drivetrain, the wheels, some general pieces of equipment that you might want to have to maintain your bike, and finally a couple nice to have things. Once again, not essential, but wow, for a portable repair stand for about $100 and one of these toolkits that has about that price too. There's a couple pictures of them up here that I showed you previously. It might make your trip a little more enjoyable. Okay, well listen, in the meantime, I hope you go out and ride. Have some fun, and when the director and I get out on the road, we're going to make sure we have our mascot in here. I think this is going to be Dr. Ebb, so we'll have our wild boar out there, a small wild boar, and so go out and ride and have some fun, go camping, and of course, keep the rubber side down. Bye, y'all.